So today we are going to talk about how do we talk to ourselves? And I just love this topic because it's amazing how many people don't realize that they're actually talking to themselves all the time. Now, in the case of me, I'll do it actually out loud, like in stores and stuff. And sometimes I get kind of strange looks. But we do it constantly in our head all the time. Oh, just watching here. Okay, got notification on Messenger. Great. But the link went to intentionally bare website to post. Okay, so we got something going on not quite right in the Messenger message. I got it. So that's probably why it was hard for you guys to connect. We'll get that straightened out for next time. I guess we're a little rusty. It's been some time. Anyway, okay. So like I said, our conversation today is going to be about how we speak to ourselves. But I just want to welcome anybody here that is new. If anyone is here brand new, I just want to say hello. It's so great to have you here. I just want to let you know that I am not a doctor. Just want to remind you, and nothing that I say should be taken as medical advice. But I'm just super passionate about keto and natural health. I love to pass on things that I'm thinking about, things that I'm doing, and things that the experts in the field are talking about so that we can have a discussion. You can find out what's right for you. Oh yeah, this coffee with Lita, I'm so excited because I actually have it in my hot little hands, is sponsored by my new Collagen Peptides. Okay, just have to show you because last time I was here, it was hilarious because I had to do this and it's like a piece of paper because I didn't have it. It took a long time to get to Canada. I'm very sorry for you other fellow Canadians. But anyways, finally here in my hot hands, and I've been using it for about a month. Oh my gosh, so love it. I will put a link to the product down below after I'm done here. But in case you guys haven't tried it, oh my gosh, it is honestly anti-aging from the inside out. This is custom formulated with a lot of biotin and hyaluronic acid, which I don't know if you know that you can actually ingest hyaluronic acid. It's not just topically, and it helps keep moisture in your skin. It's great for your joints. If you have any kind of a joint issue, hyaluronic acid is amazing for that. It helps your skin look beautiful. It's got vitamin C and zinc, which helps it to be more assimilated in the body, but it's also really great for your immune system. This has 10 grams of protein. It supports good gut health. I cannot say enough about this product. I'm so excited. And you can read in the group. Take a look in the announcements. I think I have a post in there where I was asking people what they think about it, and people have posted in there. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, okay, I got a bone to pick with you. Now I have to get my nails done more often, and I have to get my hair done more often because now, the color's coming out and whatnot because everything is growing more. But that's kind of like, that's the unfortunate side of it. But the beauty of it is just like, seriously, you will not believe the difference. Like, yes, I have gels, but underneath my gels, they are so strong. My skin is just, anyways, my biggest problem that I've always had was with my hair. And I think a lot of you have had this problem too with keto. And sometimes part of it is we don't get enough protein. Some of it is just because we're losing weight. It's very common for people to have hair issues. So ever since I started, I had a bit of a loss at the beginning when I started keto. Then it came back, but it never really came in. Like before I started keto, my hair was so thick. You ask my family, like if I let it just air dry, it was like, out to here and super thick. And I always had to get it thinned out. And, being on keto for quite a while, it just got to a natural state, which still looked good. Since I have been on this, I am not kidding you. Like the growth in the top is ridiculous. When I got my hair done 2 weeks ago, my stylist said, we got to thin your hair. Like we have to start thinning it out because it looked like I had a mushroom head at the top because it was so thick and it was thinner down here. So she did what she could to kind of, anyways, all I can tell you is that it is coming in like fast and furious. So if you guys want to comment on here, if you're using it, what you guys have noticed, I'd sure appreciate that. It is really a phenomenal product. But anyways, that's who we're sponsored by today. Okay, let's get to our topic. So we were talking about this in the group, and I thought it'd be really nice to have a little chat about it here, because how we speak to ourselves is really like, you don't even realize that you're doing it. I bet you a lot of you don't even realize it. I didn't realize it for the longest time, that the things that I was saying to myself was making such a difference on how I felt. Things like, you pass the mirror, maybe you're getting ready, or maybe you're just, you just go by the mirror or something. And maybe it's just that automatic response, like in your head, that you would quickly pick apart something before you see the good. Do you know what I'm saying? I used to do this all the time. Like I would catch myself in the mirror, and the first thing I would think of is, oh, you kind of look like you got bags under your eyes today, or gee, is that a little bit more wrinkly than usual? Or, gee, your face is looking a little bit full today or something. Those were the first things that would come into my mind, right? I would never think of that looking at another person. When I see other people, my first instinct is always, oh, she's so beautiful, or I love her eyes, or what a beautiful shirt you have on today, or whatever. That's always my first instinct when it comes to somebody else. But when it came to me, it wasn't the first thing. And it was something that I really, really had to work on for myself, because I realized that I was the one that was bringing myself down. I was the one that was putting these negative thoughts into my mind. And so I've really had to work on it. So also comparing ourselves to others. That was another thing. I'm not saying I don't ever do any of these things. I'm just saying these are things that I've been really working on, especially the last couple of years. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter if you get to your goal weight, which we all will eventually get to our goal weight. It's not going to change your inner dialogue if you don't work on it now. Oh no, my iPad is restarting, so I might not be able to see you guys for a second to comment. But anyway, it's so important to work on this now, like at any stage, whatever stage you're at with your weight loss journey. And even if you're not, actively in that stage, it's so important that we work on this, because it's never going to change, and we're never going to feel like we're not enough if we don't change this inside. And a lot of this stuff, I mean, I can speak for myself anyways, came from childhood. I have a lot of things that I just remembered from childhood. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can understand what I'm talking about. I mean, someone says something negative to you. Maybe it was a kid in the playground. Maybe it was a well-meaning relative, someone who actually really loves you, and maybe they didn't mean anything by it. I remember a couple of things that will always stick in my head, but now I've realized that it doesn't own me. I don't internalize those things anymore, but I can't help but still remember them. And it's hard, it's really hard, but sometimes those things are what sticks in our mind the most. And so when we look at ourselves, or we think about ourselves, or we're analyzing how we're doing, maybe with our weight loss journey or health journey or something like that, it's like those things kind of pop up, right? And then it's sometimes really hard to change that dialogue. So being aware of it, that I think is the most important thing. I remember when my kids were young and they would have like a bad dream or something like that. And I would say to my kids, pretend that you're watching TV, and now you're watching this thing that's kind of scary to you. Change the channel. Walk up to the TV. And this is what I had to explain to them. They're like, but we have a remote. Okay, right. But when I was a kid, I had to walk up to the TV. Walk up to the TV or take the remote, whatever. But just go up there and physically change that channel. Turn it into something else. As soon as you notice that you're thinking something negative about yourself, change that channel. So for example, I'll give you some examples. I hear this in the group a lot, and these are things that I used to say to myself all the time. So say like, I'm doing my keto and I'm tracking my macros and overall feeling really good about myself. And then when I look at the end of the day, say I noticed, gee, I went over in my carbs, or I went over in my calories. All of a sudden, I was feeling great until I noticed that thing. And then boom, right away I was saying, oh, well, you were doing good, but you went over your calories, or you went over, your carbs or whatever. Why did I have to say that negative thing? Why didn't I just say, you had an awesome day today? Oh, okay. I might observe that I went a little over on that, but who cares? You know what? Tomorrow I had that extra little thingy, and I probably, could have planned ahead of time or something. So now I've got my plan for tomorrow. That would be fine. But why did I have to say it like, well, yes, but this, right? That's the kind of thing I used to do to myself all the time. And I do notice it in the group quite a bit, especially when we're having challenges. And then people will post, their macros or something. And I'm just saying this as an observation, that I will see people often will say, oh, I did really good on this, but I didn't da 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 da. And that's okay. But as long as you don't take it as a fail, don't take it as, I didn't do very well. Don't let it take away from the awesomeness that you already had that day, because that can really bring us down. And surprisingly, it can make a difference even in your next day. Like even in your next day, you might wake up and think, you know what? I said I was going to do so good and I didn't do so good yesterday. So today I just I don't even care, whatever. That's going to really affect you going forward as well. I just want to read this on here. I'm sorry I can't see who it is because my iPad just failed me. I still do that. Always see the flaws or the saggy skin or something. I'm positive to other people, but struggle with myself. And that's after officially down 100 pounds in a year. Exactly. I keep seeing my brother saying he named his pig Bacon, and at Christmas 2 years ago in front of everyone, hurt my feelings big time. My mom smacked him. He was joking, but it sucked. You know what, Sean? I totally get it. I totally get it. It's like, you know what? He absolutely was joking. I mean, that he was joking, but you can't forget those words that were said to you. I remember those things too, and they still sit there. And I don't have anything bad to think about the person who said, or the people that said those things, because I know that they really meant well, but I can't help those things. So all we can do now is really be that awesome friend to ourselves, right? And we just have to change what we are thinking in our head to ourselves. And I also wanted to say too, that I hear sometimes people saying like, oh, people in my life or my circle, they don't really comment. I kind of thought, maybe I would get a little bit of compliment or something like that. And, it would sure be nice. It would sure be nice if we got that love and, those kind of people in our life that care for us, if they would notice. But either A, maybe they're not those kind of people. B, there could be some people in your life that maybe are a little bit jealous, or maybe there's people that are kind of judgy. We all have those kind of things, right? And so this is why it's so important that we have to do this for ourselves. We have to do this for ourselves and not expect external to make us feel good inside. And whether you lose 100 pounds or you lose 5 pounds, making that change inside ourselves is going to really, really make the difference. And especially when you kind of hit those hard times, which we all do, or we're stalled or going through a little bit of a patch where we're not doing as well or whatever, that's going to make the biggest difference of whether we're going to continue on and say, okay, we got this, or whether we're going to let ourselves kind of sink further down, right? That's going to make all the difference. One thing also I was going to mention too is I have found for myself that getting into the practice of gratitude has made a huge difference to me. And when I say practice, I mean literally taking time every single day. Sure, it's great if you pass the mirror and you say, hey, sexy, or whatever. That's awesome. That's really great too. Or you have like a little sign in the mirror saying, you know, like, ooh, you look great, or whatever. Those things are awesome. But I mean, making an actual practice out of having some gratitude every day. It could be when you first wake up in the morning before your feet hit the floor, the first few minutes of you being awake, you have some gratitude of things that you are thankful for. Maybe a quick little prayer, maybe some affirmations, you know, whatever, thinking positively about your day, about what you're so happy to have, that kind of a thing. That's like if you first wake up. Myself personally, I do think of positive things when I first wake up, but I like to come down. I have a nice little spot for myself. And in the morning, I actually do a little bit of meditation. I do a little bit of yoga stretches just to get, you know, my body kind of liberate up for the day. And I have a gratitude journal. And this is something my daughter gave this to me a few years ago, and I'm going to use it until it's completely empty. And it's very special to me because she gave it to me. And also because when I first got this, I decided I was going to start writing out what I was grateful for. And I have really cool little notes in here that I've written to myself. Just little things like, for example, no matter what challenging situation you may find yourself in, imagine the best outcome of it and feel it. I wrote that in there when I was going through, some anxiety. I was having some anxiety issues, and I wrote that in there so that I can read that anytime I'm starting to feel a little anxious. That's just a note to myself. I have other things in here too, like little affirmations. I can, I am, I believe, I can do it, I can do anything, you know, things like that. But I write in this every single morning, and I write down whatever comes up in the top of my head. And it used to be that it was always about other people, you know, and also very grateful for my home and very grateful for the people in my life and that kind of thing. And then I realized I wasn't showing any gratitude for myself. And that when I started doing that, that really started changing things too. So I started writing in there like, you know what? I am grateful that I this, or I did this, or I helped this person, or whatever comes to mind. I include myself in my gratitude writings every single day. So that little practice has really made a difference in my life. I literally do it every single morning, and it has changed how I think even throughout the day. So if something kind of negative pops up, it's really helped me to just flip that switch really quickly, change that channel really quickly, and think about something positive. And I really do believe it is this practice. Now, for some of you, you know, it might be prayer. It might be more of a meditation. You call it whatever you want, and do it in whichever way feels good for you, but something that is for you, and it is your way of feeling and showing positivity, and especially if you include yourself. I want to look on here and see if anybody said anything. Oops. But my iPad decided to like kind of close down. Oops. 5% battery. Okay. Sorry. Give me 1 sec here. I'll just see, because up there, if you guys didn't give permission for me to see you, I can't see your name. So let me look here. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Oops. Oh, sorry. That was Keisha probably posted that in. So you're right. This isn't easy to find. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just read it from up here. Sorry. It kind of popped off my screen, so I might not be able to see who it is. But anyways, I want to go back, and I want to read some that you guys have said because it's really good. Beth said, oh, we're back on the hair. Okay, so I'll just read whatever comes to mind. I love the collagen peptides. Just got my hair done, and my hairdresser couldn't believe how much my hair had grown. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to guess that that's my sister, Lori, because she did tell me she went to the hairdresser today. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, she probably noticed a big difference. Beth, I have painfully thin hair. My hair is feeling thicker, and I have a fuzz head due to all the new hair. That's what I call mushroom head. Like mine is like about there, and it's like a big big little dome right until I got it thinned out a little bit. Okay, so I read that from there. Okay, there's something else down here. Being positive is so important to create change. It's harder to do towards yourself than to create for others sometimes. Exactly. It really is. And we almost, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but it's almost like when we say something negative to ourselves, it's like it's going to help us. It's going to help us be better. And when I think of that, I think, okay, so say you have a young child and your child is disappointed in themselves of something that had happened. Are we going to say like, oh, you did really crappy. Like that was awful. What were you thinking? No, we're not. We're not going to say that. We're going to say, I'm really sorry you feel disappointed in yourself. That's hard. So thinking about maybe what could you do differently? What would you do differently the next time? Having that kind of a conversation, that's what we would say to our child, right? So why don't we say things like that to ourselves? Oh, okay, so maybe this wasn't on point today. What will I do differently? Kind of thing. Instead of just saying, oh, you said you were going to do so good. You started off really good and then you did this and you suck, right? That is not going to help us at all. And it's just going to make us go even more. That's how I find for myself. So anyways, if you guys have anything else to say, please say it in the comments. I would love to keep this conversation going because I think a lot of people can totally relate to this. And it's really nice for others to see that it's not just them. So say it in there. And if not, then we'll wrap it up. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I just know that this has helped me so much. And I feel like I've heard this many times in lots of other groups, including ours, that from people that have lost a lot of weight, they said they never could really keep it off until they really got this worked out. And though I'm not at my goal weight yet, I feel that is very accurate. I feel like that's going to be very accurate. I think it would be hard to be able to stay at that weight or close to it or whatever if we don't get this worked out, because we're always going to see ourselves as that bigger person. We're always going to see our failures, and it's not going to help us in the future. Yes, Beth, your life has been very hard, and you do need to be nice to yourself. And sometimes we don't always get that from the other person or other people in our life. And that's why it's critically important that we do that for ourselves. And another reason why it's just really great to be in a group like this, where we're so supportive of each other. And that is really awesome. But ourselves is absolutely number one. Absolutely number one. No matter what else is going on, we have to be kind to ourselves. I need to work on my inner voice. Yeah. And the first thing is really just noticing it. Really just noticing it. And maybe we'll take a step back and say, don't be hard on yourself when you notice that negativity, because then that's another negative, right? Don't be hard on yourself. Just observe it. That's how I really started off with. I just said, every time I notice that I've thought or said something to myself that's negative, I am going to turn it around and say two positives. That's really how I started doing it. It started off with the passing the mirror thing, and then it was kind of my thoughts. And so for one negative, I give myself two positives. That really helped me too. That's like an automatic thing now that I do in my head. Yeah. So if any of this helps you guys, I really hope so, because we're really our best advocates, right? We're the ones that are going to help stuttering today. Help ourselves do better. Help ourselves going into the next level or whatever. And especially when we're not super on our game. I think that is the hardest time to be positive with ourselves. That's one thing I still struggle with. I work on it really hard because nobody is perfect. We don't claim to be perfect, But what makes it worse is saying these negative things to ourselves when we are off our game. That is absolutely the worst thing that you can possibly do to yourself, and something that I really, really work on, because that's still a weak point for me. I feel like, for myself, I feel like, hey, you know what? I'm helping other people, and I know it. So why am I not being perfect? And that's a whole other discussion. But when I'm not perfect, being hard on myself is just not going to accomplish anything at all. So, Christine says, I've looked at my past photos and thought, yuck, of my full body shot. Maybe it was my pose or the way I was standing in the photo that I didn't like and didn't make me look good. That's what made me change to get back on keto. You know what? Absolutely. And if you see yourself in a picture like that and you think to yourself, oh, I actually didn't realize that maybe I had gained more weight than I thought, or maybe don't look as healthy as what I was thinking, or whatever. Those are observations. And I wouldn't even say that something like that is negative. But when you're looking at yourself, and maybe, if you were to think something like, oh my gosh, you're so fat, or oh my gosh, like, how could you have let yourself go so much, or whatever, that's not going to help you. That's not going to be, constructive. It sounds like you took that thought and decided, I'm going to make a healthy change for myself, and this is what I'm going to do. And by the way, you are rocking it. She's done really, really good. Participated in all the challenges that I had in January, which was 4. And now we're on to our 5th one here, starting in February. So you're doing super awesome. But that's great that you took that and you turned it into a positive instead of just, and I think that's why sometimes people take a long time to start with their healthy keto plan or whatever they're going to do, is because they just focus on what they're so upset with when they look at the picture, instead of saying, I'm going to take what I'm seeing here and turn it into, something constructive that I can change my life for, and I want to do better for myself, right? That's what we need to do. When I have a negative thought, I replace it with a positive. Takes practice. Yes, absolutely. It absolutely takes practice. It has taken me a long time to really flip that switch inside, but now it actually is automatic for me. So I feel very, I can say I'm very proud of myself for turning what used to be a constant flow of negative thoughts that I would think to myself. Like, if I looked in the mirror, the first thing I thought of was something negative before I would see something positive. And I have changed that. And I'm very proud of myself for that, because I had to work really hard at it. Again, some childhood sheesh comes up. And so really had to work on that. Get window markers to use on the mirror for inspiration and motivation. Yes. Yes, Christina, sorry, I can't see your name. I can see your name there. Yeah. If any of you guys ever see that little notification that says allow StreamYard to see your name, if you've never done it, just do it one time, and then I will always be, that's what they say, I will always be able to see your name. So Christina, I can see your name here. You must have done it before. So yeah, it does take a lot of practice, but it is so worth it. So worth it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave it at that. And we can talk more in the group. I do have a post in there. I posted that this morning, and we were talking about it in there, and we could definitely continue the conversation here or there. So I hope you guys have a really nice evening. And I'm very excited because I wasn't making dinner tonight, but we are having hamburgers, and I have this really awesome guac that I'm so excited. I actually bought it. I didn't make it, but I took a little bite, and it is phenomenal. It's all spiced up and stuff. So anyways, I'm very excited. I did OMAD today, and I'm very excited for my dinner. So anyway, you guys take care. It was really great talking to you again, and I'll definitely be doing this on a more regular basis. Sorry it's been so long, but we'll definitely keep this going. Okay, you guys, have a really super night. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, before you go, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we have a new video posted. Also, down in the description, I will have links to everything that we talked about in our chat today, including information on how you can join my Intentionally Bare Keto support group. See you next time.